How's it going, Forex traders? Welcome to the inside of my screen. Desmond Samuel here. Is yet another week to look at how the market has been behaving and then look at how we can actually capitalize on the most recent developments. So the last week or last 2 weeks rather, I came on here to talk to you guys about the pound sterling, and I actually made mention of the double top that I saw on the weekly time frame, and as it stands here, this is exactly what we're actually waiting for, the neckline to be broken and then retested. And I said I'll be back here on your screen to let you guys know when the market is really actually, has really fulfilled every single technical criteria of a chart pattern that can be validated. So as it stands here, the neckline has been confirmed, it has been broken, the neckline has been tested. All right, so now before I actually proceed here, please click on that subscribe button and then turn on the bell icon as you do so. You know why? Because I'm looking to hit 3K before the end of the year. Yeah, so now this is how we actually spoke about this. We had like a divergence here. So as it stands, this is a lower high from here in a double top on a weekly time frame. That is quite significant here, and then we did actually break below a significant level, which happens to be this blue bar like so. So I mean, quite frankly, everything seems to be pointing to the downside now. This downtrend is cleared, every single obstacle is cleared as it looks. So let's scale down to the daily time frame and see, because you guys, I like to do, let's just see what the monthly time frame says before I actually proceed. Yeah, so this is a monthly time frame here, and as it stands here, this is huge, right? So this, the next technical area to expect the pound sterling to drop to potentially would be at around 1.250. That is basically long-term target. If everything goes according to plan, yeah, we should actually be seeing the pound sterling collapse all the way down to this blue bar like so, but I don't see this happening this year. So probably maybe this trade might run into first quarter or maybe even the second quarter of the year 2026. All right, so let's scale down to the daily time frame and then see how we can actually maneuver our way around this guy. Okay, so yeah, so I did actually make mention of the fact that the market was around the neckline, and we did actually break the neckline. They tested it nicely, and as it stands, it looks as if the market wants to collapse. Yeah, so but we just have one more technical criteria to be fulfilled, and then we can rest assured that this guy is going to collapse. And what is that? It is a counter trend line. Yeah, and you see, one of the things about my style of trading is like there are certain boxes that the market has to check for me. Yeah, there are certain boxes that the market has to check for me. So we still have a counter trend line move to be fulfilled. Once we have that counter trend line cleared, ladies and gentlemen, I will not be surprised to see the pound sterling collapse all the way down back to this blue bar like so. So it's going to look something like this. So a break out of here. So this should be on the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, exactly what you need to look out for before you actually go short on this guy. Remember, this is a downtrend. Yeah, I mean, judging from what we have seen so far, the weekly down to the daily, and then even the 4-hour time frame, this is pointing bearish. However, there's just one more thing left to be fulfilled, and that's the counter trend line break. Once you see a counter trend line clear, what is cleared here, we have space all the way to the downside. Like this is gonna be a magnitude of a drop. Yeah, it's gonna be a big drop on the pound sterling. Yeah, all things being equal, I really do not see anything holding the pound sterling from collapsing all the way to 1.27200 rather. Like this is a free fall on this guy. All things being equal, this is a free fall. So if you have your lower time frame strategy that you actually like to trade with, I would employ you to wait patiently for this market to clear out this trend. And once you have this counter trend out of the way, it's a free fall on the pound sterling. Yeah, as usual, the first take profit has to be where the market reversed from, which is here. Okay, so the first TP will be here. No matter how much you make from here to here, take out something. There is a reason as to why I always say this thing here. Take out something, because at the end of the day, this is still the foreign exchange market. The market could easily come on here and then give you an equal low and then blow through the roof. Anything can happen here. So once anything the market gives you, pocket it. That is a sign of gratitude here. Pocket it nicely, and we hope for the best. However, it is what it is. Yeah, so we just need to align ourselves perfectly and hope and wait for this counter channel to get broken. Once this guy is out of the way, guys, is a free fall on the pound sterling. First take profit is 1.30149, and then subsequently you see this guy. Once we clear this base, you got space all the way to 1.27000 like so. Now, on the other hand, the length of the chart pattern tends to tell us the potential amount of peers that the market will most likely be rallying or melting into. So in this case here, how do you know this? Just measure from the top here. Like so, this is free game now for you guys. from the top of the chart pattern all the way down to the neckline where it actually got broken, which is here like so. So if you measure that nicely, that's roughly 600 pips. This is a technical principle, yeah. So roughly 600 pips, and then by the time you get this out of the way, you're looking at potentially the market could even break below even this blue bar like so, yeah. So but we just have to put this blue bar as our target, because at the end of the day, this is a technical level. But notwithstanding, technically speaking, the market is actually bearish, and what we need to see is the market needs to clear out this trend. And once this trend is out of the way, guys, you got space to the downside, yeah. By the way, if you like what you're seeing so far, I urge you to go ahead, like I said earlier, click on that subscribe button and then turn on the bell icon. Take me to 3,000 subscribers, guys. I'm literally eager to hit that, yeah. So I think we've pretty much covered every single thing about the pound sterling. There is actually nothing to worry about, except, of course, if the market decides to break above this blue bar, then I'll be back here to reevaluate these guys and tell you exactly how to position yourself nicely to ride this wave to the upside. But I favor this guy to the downside to the tune of 75%. Yeah, I do believe that eventually the pound sterling will rotate to the downside. Yeah, so that's just that about the pound sterling. So let's see what the other pairs have to show. Let's see what other pairs we got here. So we got the euro dollar as well. So let's see what the euro is actually doing at the moment. The euro dollar actually blew through our weekly time frame neckline that we had for it. So it just blew through the market. So now for the euro dollar, yeah, it is fulfilling a different kind of technical principle. And I said to you guys, yeah, that before the market actually goes, most times before the market goes on to, actually we took a loss on this trade in the mentorship room. So, and I said that before the market actually proceeds to break the neckline, sometimes it comes back to half of the length of the entire chart pattern before it actually continues to the downside. So this does not negate the fact that this was a double top on the weekly time frame, mind you. However, if you see, this is the midpoint of this chart pattern, and that's what the market came to do. It came to test there nicely, and I still believe, without any iota of doubt, that eventually the euro will most likely reverse all the way to the downside, provided that we actually remain below this top here like so. So all these are technical tools and principles that you guys have to take note of here. Once the market gives you a chart pattern, maybe 4 times out of 10 times, the market will most likely come back to at least half of that length of the entire chart pattern and then reverse to the downside. That is, and then continue in the direction of the chart pattern. You get me? So whatever chart pattern, head and shoulders pattern, inverse head and shoulders pattern, this is something I've noticed in the market for the past 4 years. The market will most likely always come back to test the midpoint. Where is the midpoint of this? You will most likely see it here. It is clearly stated here where the supply level is here. So once you get onto the daily time frame, it's a lot more clearer. You can see that right here. So this is it. So this is the midpoint of this entire chart pattern. All right. So the market just came there to test that nicely, and then we should be reversing to the downside from here, all things being equal. All right, so we do have a supply level here like so. This is it. This is where the market came to test nicely. So all things being equal, what this means is that I'm actually favoring the euro to the downside, but for the euro it would be a 65% probability, because I don't like this kind of trades where you break out of my zone and come and test a different kind of supply level. I don't like it as much, but it doesn't really negate the fact that the euro is bearish. At this point, it still looks bearish, provided I will actually remain below this TP point of this chart pattern at 1.18121. We are still quite bearish on my on my notes here. So now, how do you execute the euro dollar? Is very simple. Yeah, you can clearly say that this is a decent supply level, and this is a good chance to short the euro. So, but before we actually go ahead, this is what we want to see the euro fulfill. Yeah, again, counter trend line. See, this thing will save you from making a lot of rash decisions in the market. At the end of the day, this is a probability business. Yeah, so you really want to stack the odds in your favor. You really want to stack as much as possible. Stack the odds in your favor before you actually go ahead and then proceed. And I urge you, if you're new to the game, if you're new to this business, you must have your technical criteria that the market has to meet before you actually execute a trade. Do not execute the trade because you saw someone post sell this, buy this. No, you must have your own principle as a trader. As a man, you must have your own principle. As a woman, whatever, you must have your own trading principle. So for the euro dollar is quite simple. Yeah, I need to see once I get a breakout of this counter trend like so, is a free fall on the euro. Yeah, free fall from here to here. All right, so we got space to the downside. You get me? So why I'm marked here is because if you look left, that's exactly where the market's posed a very significant turning point, which is here. All right, so this was the beginning of this entire rally to the upside. So the market most likely get there again. So this might be us rounding off the year on a very good note. Once all this just materialize, I think very early in December we might start to see a lot of reduction in volatility as the year comes to a close. CAD JPY went ahead to hit that take profit and then surpassed even the take profit that we actually set, and it has gone ahead to set a new kind of demand level like so. So I like this market reverse, go higher from here, then pull back. So the link to the membership room is actually down there, and then also the link to the Telegram community free one is actually down there, so you can come and check out these things by yourself. Crude oil, nothing really happening on crude oil at the moment, just playing around. So this was a breakout of a trend line, counter trend line again. This is a retest. So we're like this guy drop to the downside, but I'm not really interested in the crude oil at the moment. So let's talk dollar card. So dollar card seems to be giving us a very beautiful pattern, like it wants to rally. Yeah, the dollar card looks like it wants to go. It looks like it wants to go. Like if you check the daily time frame, it actually put in a daily bullish engulfing pattern, candlestick pattern right here, like so. Now this is showing you that this level has a lot of weight, has a lot of authentic buyers. So we have more buyers than sellers in that day, which happened to be on a Thursday. So all things being equal, yeah, I would love to see the dollar rally, the dollar card rally into regions of about first take profit to be somewhere around here, like so. Obviously where the market reverse from here, and then afterwards we should see this guy rally upwards into regions of about 1.42768. I believe that just that about that. So now anything after this is a bonus, because I don't really see that we may have that much volatility left anymore after this trade. So you must capitalize on these trades as you've seen them. So NZDUSD has some room to the upside. Again, similar downtrend, like so. The market is coming into a very solid supply level to test it out nicely. Once it does that, we should be seeing this guy drop all the way back down. All right, so I've been bearish NZDUSD for a while now, and it's not going to change. All right, this market has been on a bearish trajectory for the past couple of years. It has been downwards. Yeah. So again, once this materializes, you already know what to do. Yeah, for our time frame, either a bounce method or a counter trend line break, we're actually entering this trade, and then stops will be above structure, and they will dump this guy all the way to the first TP at 0.5608, and then afterwards we'll see this guy collapse all the way to 0.55206. I believe I've covered every single necessary pair, all right, because I'm very, very picky when it comes to my trades. So let's talk about the DXY. The DXY is the one that is actually controlling the azimuths as it stands. So the XY from a daily time frame perspective, it looks to be rejecting off of a very decent demand level, like so. However, if you do look at it carefully, it seems to be on a 50-50 region, because now we are looking at a downward pressure here around this supply level, and then we're also looking at the weekly time frame double bottom here. So I mean, it is quite in between at this point. There is no clear direction yet, but from the look of things, from my thesis and from my observations, I would actually be calling the XY to the upside to the tune of 55%. Yeah, so this will most likely get all the way back to 100.375. Then afterwards we could see this guy come back, because the ideal target for the XY, honestly, it is at 102. Okay, that is where I believe that the XY is gonna go to eventually, is at 102, which happens to be this blue bar, like so. So this double bottom here is a sign of a reversal. Okay, now this is looking like the market is just having issues breaking above here. That is normal. That is normal as to every other supply or demand level. Anytime the market has issues breaking above or below a level, look left. What has happened there before? The market rejected it before, so this is totally normal. Yeah, now I expect the market to rally even higher towards 102.000 if we do actually break above this green rail, like so. And I believe I've covered every single pair that actually has the potential to pay us at the moment. For now, trade safe, apply proper risk management, guys. Be cool, keep your head down, no matter what happens here. If you take a loss, if you take a win, just keep your head down. Just focus on the actual point of the business, which is to grow your wealth systematically and gradually. Okay, so I'll catch you guys in my next video. Please be sure to check out the pinned comment. Every single detail you need, my email and all that is there. All right, check it out and then give me a feedback, or let me know whatever thing you need my help with. Okay, for now, trade safe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.